Welcome, everyone. You are about to embark on a journey through the universe as you indulge in this extraordinary essence of enlightened, empowered, evolved. Let the show begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Luke Bryan Smith, and welcome to Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved, where we educate, motivate, and liberate you through enlightening dialogues, empowering music, and evolving content. I know everyone's doing well, and everything is unfolding perfectly. I am excited yet again. And those of you that watch my show, listen, you know why I'm excited. You already know, but I'll say it anyway because I enjoy thoroughly engaging and learning from people all around the world and just vibrating on a high frequency with people all around the world. Today is no exception. My next guest is the driving force behind the Limitless Life Institute. She's also an author of several books, and she's excited about featured, being an expert feature in the upcoming film Pillars of Power, the hidden secret behind achieving greatness. And I'm sure a whole lot more. But without further ado, allow me to introduce to you Susan Shatzer. How are you doing today, Susan?
Good. Thank you so much, Luke. That was beautiful. I just felt like all these bubbles and sparkles were like just traveling all around me. Thank you so much. That was
You are
sweet.
very welcome. And I would like to meet you with this. I believe or I know that time is one of our most precious assets. And for you to choose to spend a moment of your time, even just a moment of your time, a segment of your time in the history of your timeline, I am so thankful. I just want to express my sincerest gratitude to you. Thank you very much for being here with me today.
You are so welcome. It was
Yes.
an absolute yes. And when I get a yes for things, I don't even need to, or no, I don't even need to ask, like, well, how come? Well, what for? Why not? If it's a no, it's a yes is a yes. And that's round peg, round hole. And that is so much easier than trying to take your round peg and jamming it in a square hole. So
Right,
you know
right.
that yes is yes, and I don't need to know why, how come, what we're going to do, but we are going to create magic and greatness this evening together.
Absolutely, absolutely. And for those that are just tuning in, uh, I um, I was thanking, expressing gratitude prior to this us going live here um, to Susan in regards to her just accepting my invitation so gracefully and not really, really digging too deep. Just yes, it was a yes, really, promptly. So she shared with me that her team, her spiritual team, her guides, you know, gave her the green light, and I'm all for that. I resonate with that, and just like everyone knows that my favorite number is 333. I see that all the time. So I have spiritual guides myself, the guiding angels. So amazing. But I want to get into something right now. Um, can you elaborate a bit more on this Limitless Life Institute and the role that you play? Now, I read a lot of amazing things of the purpose, but I would like for you to share that here with us, the purpose of this and your role in it and what it actually is, the Limitless Life Institute.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I would love to. I used to be a first grade school teacher, and then I was a single mom, and I was a conscious parent. I did conscious parenting. And so it's a different way of parenting than it is the way we were brought up and the way our parents were brought up and our parents before them. Conscious parenting is like a completely different state of being as an adult, as a parent with a child.
Right.
So as I was bringing him up with awareness, that kept him connected to his body, that kept him being able to access his gifts, that's being able to ask questions and be able to get truthful answers. And the target of that was just to empower him. His name's Nicholas. He's 22 now. To
Hi,
empower
Nicholas.
in creating something else, in his life that would be way more magical and fun and incredible. And it did not start out that way. So I learned that do you remember studying Romeo and Juliet, Lute?
Absolutely.
Like, did you read The Grapes of Wrath?
Grapes of Wrath. Yeah. And what Grapes of Wrath, and then that motivated me. No, you just reminded me of the other one where the kids were on the island. What was that one called?
Treasure Island.
No, it wasn't called that. They all the kids, they went crazy and they start. I, wow, I can't think. But go ahead and I'll find it.
Okay. So,
But Grace
and
or Wrath, I did read that. Yes.
Grapes of Wrath, right? And
Yes. Excuse me.
Diary of Anne Frank. Like, we were all traumatized with the Diary of Anne Frank. So when you look at that, right, like there's war with the Diary of Anne Frank. The Grapes of Wrath was poverty, poverty consciousness, and it's love and suicide is the Romeo and Juliet. And I'm like, they're so my son's in school, he's reading and learning the same things I did.
Oh, wow.
I'm 56. Like, I'm like, the curriculum actually hasn't changed. Like,
Wow.
I knew we were still in our seats, raising our hands and waiting for the bell to ring. We've all done that for 100 years. That's how but isn't it interesting how everything else has evolved? Transportation, communication, medical,
Right.
outer space,
Right.
satellite links. But we're still in our chairs, raising our hands and waiting for the bell to ring.
Hmm.
Like, there's
Yes.
just something unconscious about our education system.
Right.
And so when I took a look at that, I started to gain the awareness that, there are things that we were never taught how to do. Had we been taught how to do them or different ways to look at things,
Right.
we would have a completely different reality.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I sat with that for a little bit, and I've been sort of like, the way I was born was very interesting.
Mm.
So, yeah, my mom's water broke on August 22nd in
Mm.
1968, Lou, and I wasn't born until September 8th.
Wow. I'm September as well. Not to cut you off, but I'm September 16th.
Yeah, Virgo, double Virgos.
Yes, and my daughter is too. She's 22nd.
So she's three. There's three of us. There's your
Yes.
three. Three, three.
There
There's
you
your
go.
three.
333 right here in this realm right now. She's in the next room.
That is
Yes.
so cool how that works. Yeah, so I just started taking my whole life I was made wrong. If anyone's going to
Right.
be late, it's going to be Susan. She was late to her birth. So I
That's
was. So
yes.
I was just doing what people, told me to do.
Wow.
And then because I came in and so I could see the unseen, hear the unheard, and I knew the unknown.
Mhm.
I didn't realize that no one else had access to that information. And so it wasn't until my mom was watching me talk with my great grandfather, who was standing underneath his picture in a family's home, and he was having a come apart, that she said, "Yeah, you might not want to mention that to other people."
Mm.
So we were brought up Catholic from
Right.
that.
Right.
And so that was very sacrilegious. So it was locked down, shut down, like
Hmm.
tether. It was
Right.
not happening. So
Yes.
it wasn't until I left Massachusetts and was hired to be a Walt Disney World dancer, that's what landed me here in Florida. That I got down here and everything is much more spacious. It's much more open.
Mm.
There's not that pressure of Catholicism, that we
Right.
had in the small town I grew up in.
Right.
And my, I don't know, I call them superpowers because I don't even know what I do, how I kind of do it. So they just started showing up, and I had a guardian angel, and we
Mm.
used to be together over in London
Right.
in a different life. So she shows up and she's like, "You should do the math on that." So I was like, "Okay." I got the calendar and I'm like, 22nd to September 8th. That's 18 days,
Mm.
Loot.
Wow.
18. So I started talking with some surgeons, and I was like, what is the possibility? They're like, "Yeah, you shouldn't be here, and neither should your mother."
Mm.
They're like, "That could be a record if they kept records back then." I
Hmm.
was, yeah.
Right.
I talked to my dad. I'm like, "So, like, what did the doctor say?" He goes, "Well, we just took you to the doctor. The doctor said, when you get home from work, just take your wife on a bumpy road. We'll get that baby out." That was the
Take care.
medical. right?
And they really meant that too, though. Let me stop you right there. They meant that. Take her on a bumpy road. Oh, okay.
Make your
Help
wife
shake it
uncomfortable,
loose.
get that baby, right? Like, hello. See, even that has evolved. We're still
Yes.
reading The Great Giraffe, but that's evolved.
Yes. Yeah. And
So,
go ahead. No, go ahead. I was just going to tell you, I remembered that book just while I looked it up. It's Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies, yes.
Yes. Yes. That's where the kids were on the island and they started to turn into savages and turned against each other. And yeah, it was amazing book. But go ahead. We're listening to your story.
Yeah. And so it was so interesting. So I desperately needed to know, like, where was I? What was I doing? Because, like, am I in the birth canal, like stuck, like all the blood's rushing to my head? Like, what, where am I? And
Right.
the lucid dream screen sort of dropped
Mm,
and like time stopped. And I'm in heaven with God
mm,
and I'm arguing with him.
mm.
You should have heard it. I was like, look, I know the rules up here and I get to choose if I'm going to go down there and do that life. And you know what? I am not, I am tapping out. There's got to be somebody else more qualified. Like, this life is filled with disease, heartache, betrayal, like all this. No, not yet. Look, I'll go in 100 years when Earth is a much nicer place and people get along better. And he's like,
Wow.
it has to be you. So it's like a tantrum, Lute. Like, why? Why does it have to be me? And he was like, look here. And he opened his arms and there was all these twinkling lights in there. And he said, I was like, what is that? He said, those are the souls waiting for you to get to Earth, for you to help them on the soul's evolution, which is why
Mm,
they incarnate.
wow. Powerful.
So 18 days later, I was born.
Mm, amazing.
And here I am. So having all of those come back online, it's like like we were taught to be in the box. Like
Mm,
when we were babies, our first language wasn't the one we learned at home. Our
right.
first language is energy.
Mm, wow.
So when you see a baby and animals and they're kind of just looking up at the wall and they giggle and laugh, or a cat's tracking something, like they're actually seeing something outside of the realm that your brain has allowed you to see. Because
Mm,
you were taught that colors fit in the large crayon box,
right. Right.
not in the large crayon box,
Yes.
not a color.
Yes. And excuse me. Um, but yes, in our formative years, just yeah, the way that we were taught, everything fit into something, fit into a box. You can't go beyond this. Even, with and no disrespect to anyone, because I grew up in a Christian household. Um, but everything was was in a box, was limited. And I don't know about you, but there was a lot of superstition and fear-based mentality when I grew up, and those that grew up without that, that they went a lot further, a lot. I mean, you know what I mean. So, but yeah, everything was in a box, like you said, the crayons, the don't go too far with this, and when we're born, we don't know those limits, you know.
Right.
Right,
In fact, fear and excitement have the same frequency.
right, right,
See, the reason fear stepped in was because as a kid, you were riding your bike like 100 miles an hour, going down a hill without the brakes, your handles barely on the bars to control it. And then someone yelled out and said, oh my God, you better slow down. You're going to crash. You're going to hit a tree. You're going to fall
right,
over. You're going to get hurt. You're going to get scraped. And therefore, that emotion you were having of excitement switched to, I need to be afraid when I have
right,
that.
and be very cautious about everything.
Yeah. And fear is actually where we're not willing to be aware.
Right.
So that's the beauty is, are you willing to know what you don't know?
Are you
Are you
willing to know what you don't know? Yes, that resonates with me as well, because in my perspective, a lot of things that people don't know, they tend to shy away from it, or again, that fear comes up. And yeah, that's amazing. Go ahead, Susan. And you reminded me of something else too. And I just have to say this, and I don't mean to disrupt your flow, but I just listened to a segment from the Master Key Society on YouTube today while I was working. I was listening to it in my headset, and it talked about and you'll see where I'm going with this, about how you said fear and excitement on are same frequency. Well, this segment was talking about everything is one, even like hot and cold. It's all in the same. It's just different. I can't remember the exact words, but the segment I listened to was called the Kabbalion 19. It was written in 1908. It's a book by the three initiates, and it's like 4 hours long. But it mentioned some of the things that you're speaking of right now. It's just amazing how serendipitous these things happen. Like when I say it, everything unfolds perfectly. Some of this that you're saying right now, I just listened to that earlier today. I can't make that up.
Exactly. These are the aha moments. So like
Right,
attracts like,
right,
and every molecule has consciousness,
right.
and everything's energy. So
Everything is
the
energy.
food we eat, the clothes we wear, the technology we're using right now to record this podcast on is all energy.
Energy,
So
and it's
when you
moving.
were a child, you were told that this color is black,
Right,
this color is green.
right.
Basically, it's this frequency is green. This frequency,
See,
energy frequency is
it's
black.
black. Right.
And then like blue for every color,
Yellow.
yellow, purple. So repetition, repetition, repetition creates the neural pathway.
Mm, right,
So this frequency is green. And you were asked everywhere you went, what color is that? What color is this?
right,
And you created neural pathways. So you couldn't see the energy any longer because now it had a name, a definition, a form, a structure, and a significance. It locked you in.
right.
So it started with colors, and then
Hmm.
it went to alphabet, letters, writing, printing, and whatnot. And
Right.
you went ahead and fold, cut, staple, and pasted yourself into the box. And do you know the age where you were the biggest fighter trying to get out of the impending doom of the Matrix?
What age was that? Two. Oh, okay.
What question do they ask it to all the time? And it drives adults crazy.
Mm.
Why?
Oh yeah, but why? But why? You can't have that. But why? You can't do that. But why? You're right.
Yes, our 2-year-olds are aware that there's a different possibility available to the adults, but we're not choosing it. So they ask, well, why? Like, how come? Like, why can't I wear my princess dress to church? Right? Like, why can't I wear my Spider-Man costume to school? Like,
Right.
it makes
Exactly.
every sense to me. Like, it would contribute to me if I was able to do that. But what you're telling me, no, I can't do that because it's not the right thing to do.
Yeah, it's not appropriate for that.
Appropriate.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
so
different.
everything gets put again, restricted into a box again. There you go.
Yeah.
It's not the way we grow up does not cultivate the limitless beings that souls that we are.
And that's the key thing is
Right.
because we're taught that way. And so I discovered this paradigm that's available to us, which is really what kind of sparked the Limitless Life School. It's conscious education done differently. And
Okay.
it's this done differently frequency loop where we're in the paradigm right now where you'll hear us say, not me, some people, other people, not us.
Okay.
I've done this before. Our parents did it that way. The parents before them
Right.
did it that way. Their
Right.
parents before them. It's not broken. So we don't need to fix anything. Just
Mm,
leave it alone. Like everything's okay.
right.
So when did everything is okay become okay?
Hmm. I don't know.
Right? Like when did like it's not broken, so let's not fix it become what if it's not about being broken or not? What if it's about it's more fun
Mm,
or something would be more profitable
mm.
or something would create greater than the way you've always been doing it and it's not broken, so let's not fix it.
Wow. Yes.
We're eliminating that paradigm because we're asking the hard questions about, so what if you could see without using your eyes?
I think we can.
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
And people do. And what about hearing without using your ears? What if you
Mm,
hear with awareness, see
right.
with awareness, and know with awareness?
Right.
So there's no separation, which is where we're all one, which is what you were just talking about with the hot and the cold.
Right.
The
Yeah, it's all one.
yeah,
It's just different ends of the spectrum. Is that's what I was looking for. But it talked about where does hot start, and where does cold start. It was very interesting. I'll send you the link when we wrap this up. It's very interesting. It's long. I don't know if you have that attention span, but a lot of people these days they have very short attention spans. Even people around me. But I myself, I love listening to long.
that's
Uh,
interesting.
yeah, I love listening to things. It doesn't
So
matter how long it takes.
do you think we have less of attention span because we're told we have less of attention span, or do you think we
That
really have less of attention span?
uh, I think it's people going along with how you can take a person, and if he's in this environment, he's going to be like this. If he's in this environment, he's going to be like that, and that's what I think it is. So everybody is it's being constantly bombarded with these short form information, and okay, you got to hurry up and get to the next. We're being kind of herded that way. So people are adapting and taking that mindset. And I'm I myself I'm blocking that. Like, no, you're not going to tell me to hurry up. No, I'm taking my time. And whether it's quickly, if I'm interested, if it's something that interests me, I don't care how long it is. This was a 4 hour segment. I listened to it all day and did not fast forward it not one time. Yeah.
You were getting every golden nugget there was in there.
Absolutely, even things that I really didn't understand, but there were seeds still being planted into the subconscious mind that does understand. But my conscious mind probably doesn't understand, at least right now.
Yeah, like in these 10 seconds. Yeah,
Right,
in this
right,
moment. So what if we're actually more telepathic than we are needing to pay attention?
right.
So what if our kids they've designed a way where they actually connect more than we ever did?
Okay.
So our kids are doing things differently and they're unapologetic about it.
Right. Absolutely.
There was an element of what, 9 to 5? It doesn't work for them. That's not their business model. That's not how they function. That's not how they did not come in wired for 9 to 5.
No.
They did not come in wired meaning your frequency of what you are and who
Mm-hmm.
you are.
Mm-hmm.
So the frequency of them coming in is not a 9 to 5 job. It's not going to school for 8 hours a day. It is
No,
about sitting in a
it
chair,
isn't.
waiting in line, and sitting in the back of the room for everyone else to be quiet. Like
Right.
that is so archaic compared to what we have available now. And so the Limitless Life Institute, we're not sure if we're going to keep Institute. We're
Okay.
still talking around with the idea, but
Okay.
we're going to do conscious education differently. We're going to teach kids how to remote view. We're going to teach kids to see without seeing with their eyes, hear without hearing with their ears. They're going to know. And my child was the
Wow.
guinea pig. Yes. And there's been so much information, like there's Dr. Emoto's work where you put
Mm,
words on water and it changes the frequency of the water.
right.
So I taught my clients how to program water. And
Mm,
the research shows that
wow.
it cures cancer.
Mm,
So I've taught people how to program their water. I've taught people about the trees, and we all grew up with a tree. You probably remember one that was,
absolutely. Climbing trees. Yes.
yep.
Hmm.
And trees are designed like every human has a healing tree. So
Right.
this is sacred information that I was given when I was in Vermont, at our house in Vermont. And our bodies, human bodies, when we get close to a tree gives off a chemical that activates our immune system.
Mm, right.
Like that's scientifically proven. So why aren't we drinking programmed water, and why aren't we hanging out with our trees?
Trees. Yes. Yes. My wife encourages me. We go on walks or we go on hikes. And when she passes by a tree, she always hugs it and holds on to it for a while. And she tells me, go over there and hug that tree. Okay. And I do notice that, and this is not just for the show, that I feel better from hugging a tree,
Yes.
and it's amazing. So we're down to about 8 minutes. I don't want to rush you, and I got to have you back on here again. But you're also an author too. Can you just quickly tell us about a few of your books or your latest book, or just some titles and some books so people can find them and where can they get them?
Yeah.
And what?
So we got together, a whole bunch of us, and we got with a publisher. Her name's Erica Glessing, and Erica would throw out a topic. And when she would throw out a topic, all of us, there was mostly women, but a couple of guys also, would take a look at it and be like, yeah, I have a conscious story for that. Like something paranormal or conscious showed up, and it's something that would like to be shared and put in print with the world.
Okay.
So we would each choose to write a chapter in these books. So there's 14 of those.
Okay.
All of them are #1 bestsellers.
Okay.
Um,
Of
the,
course they are.
the one that you're really going to look for is the one that's coming out called Your Limitless Life.
Your
And
Limitless Life, and that's by who?
it's by me.
Okay, Susan Shatzer. And I'm
Yeah.
saying this audibly because I have a lot of audible listeners that listen to this podcast on, like various streaming services. So, yeah. So, again, that title is
Your Limitless Life.
Your Limitless Life, by Susan Shatzer. Now, is that available now?
No, it is not.
Okay.
It'll be available after the movie launches.
Okay, so I'm going to have you back on for sure, so that we can talk about that book, and I'll definitely get a copy so that I can read on it, and then we can really just get in depth and discuss it. Also, the movie. Tell us the title of that movie and a little bit of how you're involved in it, and when and where.
Yeah, so a whole bunch of us flew out to LA. The LA Tribune is the company that is producing it. Mo Rock, the CEO. Donna is the Campbell is our executive producer. I'm one of the creative producers. So I have a global
Congratulations.
TV series that was Webby nominated. And so I have that background with editing and yeah, putting things, and it's called Unlocking Your Limitless Life.
Unlocking Your Limitless Life. Now, what is that again?
Yeah, that's a Webby nominated global TV series.
Okay. Okay. Where can we watch this?
So it's on YouTube, it's on
Okay.
Daily Motion, it's on Roku, it's on Apple TV, it's on the streaming platforms.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we want to make sure don't you said that so slick, so to speak. And no, I want to elaborate these things. Okay, go ahead, Susan.
But it's so interesting that everything is limitless.
Right.
You, you know what I mean? And it's like that has been like a theme like throughout my life. So this movie that's coming out, it's a documentary.
Okay.
Um, will be filmed with 5 of the original The Secret, that movie.
Rhonda Byrne.
Yep, Rhonda. She's not in it with us this time, but she's the one
Right.
that produced The Secret.
Right.
Um, yeah, so there's Joe Vitale, there's Marie
Tally.
Diamond,
Yes.
a bunch of other.
Familiar. Familiar.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So we're all in it, and it's the new consciousness that's a
Mm.
so
Okay.
it's 20 years since The Secret came out. And
Okay.
those of us that are doing this energy work, like we actually have awarenesses that weren't available 20 years ago,
Right.
are asking to be shared and shown. Like there's a way to give birth without pain.
Okay.
Yeah, it's conscious birthing and beyond. It's from creation to cradle. And so we're going to work with women who are about to get pregnant, trying to get pregnant, are pregnant, and are giving birth. So that's an aspect of the educational component to what we're doing. So the pillars of power, there's 5 pillars in the movie. So
Okay.
it's mental health, money, wealth, relationships, career. There's all these different, and then they ask us about our 6th pillar. So each pillar has something to do with a new awareness, a new philosophy, a new concept, a new idea that has been downloaded by someone, is brought to the earth, and they are teaching it to others, and it is unlocking things for them that have been locked their entire life.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. We're down to about 3 more minutes. So how can, okay, that movie is going to come out when?
In the fall.
In the
Yep.
fall. So we'll look out for it. And the title again.
Is The Pillars of Power, and it's from the LA Tribune.
Okay, look out for that, everyone, in the fall. Also, how can people connect with this Limitless Life Institute? Uh, do you have a link you can share with us, or?
Yeah, so
Okay,
that is in the works because
okay,
we're
okay,
having people who are creating the content for it.
okay. Again, I'm gonna have to have you back when that is up and running.
We have a few more dates together.
Absolutely, we do, we do. So,
Dinner. This is a
yeah.
starter dinner.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Susan, for condensing so much wonderful information. I know that we could go on and on and on, and I do want to. So I do want to have you back, and we'll speak after this. But just thank you so much for sharing your amazing insight and perspectives and ideas and goals, and it's just so inspiring. Thank you very much.
It's my honor. Thank you.
Yes, and everyone, please follow the Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved website as well, the 333empower.com. And also, the do you have any links that you could share here audibly, Susan?
My first and last name, susanshatzer.com. And you can go right there, and there's a booking button on it. And I do 30 minutes totally free. Let's figure out what's going on because we can instantly heal what you have.
Absolutely. And hopefully maybe on that Shatzer.com, will it keep us updated on these other amazing things you got going on? Oh, so
Yes.
yeah, go to
The book.
Susan Shatzer, S-A oh no, SHATZR.com. Susan, SUSAN, Shatner.com, and check out everything and stay updated on these wonderful movies and books and all that. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I appreciate you all and love you all. Thank you very much. Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved. See you soon.